Talk shoes. Recorded live.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Travis and Vic's Drunken Horror Adventures. We've got a drinking Blake on the line, and that's, he's got a streak going, I think. I think he was drinking last week, too.
I was, and I just popped mine up in here. Oh.
And Vic's on the line on time. Now, that is something special indeed.
I'm so proud of you, Vic. Man, I'm so proud of you. It's been a while, buddy. How are you?
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Ladies and gentlemen.
And and hi, I'm Travis, and I'm your friend to the end.
Oh.
So sweet.
I'm drinking some sort of fruit cup wine tonight. It's called Be Lovely, and I don't really know what else to say other than that, other than it's pretty strong, and that makes me happy.
There you go. That's all that matters.
What you drinking, Blake? Tell them.
I'm drinking a screwdriver, and it's one of the I guess what you call what is it, No, it's not a 40. It's a pint. It's 8% alcohol, but I've got writing and plenty of work to do tomorrow, so I can't get too snookered on the show.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think it's
snookered. That's right.
I don't know. What's interesting is Blake's doing the rundown tonight for our movie. That it's like 2 weeks in the making now because last week was so loaded. I mean, it really was loaded. It was a fun show with Nick Strawn and Bill on the line talking about Lost Boys, Ghostbusters 2, which, by the way, the V Ghost story is my favorite, and Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 and 4. What else, Blake? What else did we get into?
Oh, we talked about the book and talked about all that good stuff, and then we talked about all kind of just different things. It was just a fun episode, and I have to give a shout-out to Mick Strawn and Bill Force. It was really a pleasure to have you gentlemen on, and it's a lot of fun. Be on the lookout for both of these cats because they're going to be more and more present in, as far as work is concerned because the books, and then I'm trying to convince Bill to do a book, too, to showcase that fantastic career with 10,000 some odd photos that have never before been seen, never been seen before. That's some cool shit right there, man.
Oh yeah, and they're both funny guys too, so I enjoyed talking to them.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes, specifically, and we've had Mick on before, so I don't want to undercut him because he was great. But having Bill on was just special because of the Lost Boys connection and all that.
Well, right, and he was a podcast virgin. He got to take his podcast cherry. How does that make you feel?
Didn't we do that to you once upon a time?
Me?
Yeah, for the Wes Craven show.
Yeah, the first time was a little messy, and it hurt a little, but I guess it's just the pain you get used to, right?
Oh, my fucking God.
Oh, Lord.
Blake's loaded.
Well, I just cracked open the bottle, for Christ's sake. Come on.
I know, it doesn't take much for you. You're not a big drinker.
Well, but I've also lost a ton of weight, and I'm down to the thinnest I think I've been in years, and alcohol when you're thinner hits your bloodstream a lot faster.
Yeah, this is true. I remember when I used to complain to Vic, he would tell me to drink more. I'd be like, I weigh 92 pounds, you dick. But that was 80 pounds ago. I don't know.
And then you go outside and argue with him while you piss in the bush. Whatever.
And he lays on the floor and pukes.
The first show that I was on, Vic was outside trying to get reception, and he was wandering around, I think, in a fucking driveway or something. The very first time I was on.
That was the Wes Craven show. We tried to get Nathan to come on. We were trying to get all sorts of people, but it was still a good show. I was painting my basement at the time. That's what I was doing.
I remember you had been talking about it. You were painting the basement, and Nathan had to do something, but Nathan actually did the cover to the book that you guys have so graciously put on your profile picture on your official Facebook page. He did all that cover design. No, that's Nathan's work, buddy.
That's funny because Vic and I were talking. We were talking about it. We wondered who did the art, and I was like, I wonder if he ever has asked Nathan to do any art. So there you go.
Nathan did it for us. Totally inimitable. I mean, one of the best artists, and again, really nice guy. So it was really, really awesome of him to do that. If you're listening, Nathan, appreciate that again, buddy.
Oh yeah. Well, Blake, I'll let you get into our movie this week since you were the man who, you threw it out there to me. I said, yes, let's do this one. And Vic and I had some negative thoughts about this movie in our childhood, but we'll see how we feel about it now.
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, so The Lost Boys, directed by Joel Schumacher, who again is known
Batman Forever.
Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, and Bat Nipples, obviously, to connect with Batman and Robin. Not my favorite film that he did, but certainly he left a mark on the DC Comics universe. I give him all the props in the world for doing that. I actually like Batman Forever a tad bit more than Batman and Robin. But that's a different story. So we've got the two Coreys in this movie, Corey Feldman and Corey Haim, who were top of their game in '87. You had Corey Feldman, who had just come off of the Goonies, and prior to that he had battled Jason Voorhees and kicked his ass in Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. So, and then you had Corey Haim, License to Drive, and it's just a lot of great movies then. And then you had a really good supporting cast. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Jason Patric, who plays the brother, Michael Emerson, is actually the son of Jason Miller, who was Father Karras in the original Exorcist and also in The Exorcist 3. He is his actual real-life son, which I thought was just amazing.
You threw that out to me, and Father Karras is still alive, isn't he?
Oh, you mean the actor?
Yeah.
No, he passed away.
Oh, fuck. I thought he was alive still. He was alive. He ended up living a long time after that movie, though.
Yeah, he lived. He was oh hell, he was.
We're talking
about
Max von Sydow, right?
No, we're not talking about Max von Sydow.
That's Father Karras.
No, that's Father Marin, buddy.
Oh, you're talking about the Mexican or the Spanish dude.
What the fuck? No, he wasn't Mexican. He wasn't Mexican, but anyway, he died in 2001, so his father has been dead for quite some time.
Jason Miller.
Jason Miller, Father Karras. He was supposed to be, I think, Greek.
He was Hispanic.
No, he was Greek. Though. He wasn't Hispanic. Right.
Oh, he was Greek? I'll be damned.
Yes, Karras, A-S.
Did you know that, Vic?
Oh,
all right. Vic's jacking it right now. He's watching wrestling, and he saw some female, and he got all excited. So. Okay.
Well, anyway, so we've got Kiefer Sutherland in one of his earlier roles, and then Diane Wiest, and then Edward Herman, and then one of my favorites, which is Grandpa Bernard Hughes. He was amazing. Jamie Gertz, and then we've got the movie was released July 1st, 1987, July 31st, 1987. And budget was $8.5 million. Not a huge budget for a horror film. Again, the early Nightmares. A lot of them had a budget, like right about Nightmare 4. I think their budget was getting close to this. Box office made $32.2 million, so still a success. It made back its budget almost 4 times over, so that's still pretty successful. But it was cool because the title is a reference to The Lost Boys and J.M. Barrie's stories about Peter Pan and Neverland, who, never grow up. And obviously the vampires, they're kind of immortal and sort of at the age that they were when they returned. So they're all kind of like punk teenagers, punk and, glam sort of hair metal sort of look to them. But, yeah, so the movie was a big hit. And, Richard Donner produced. And that's another name that we all know. And Warner Brothers distributed it, which at the time was very, very unusual for Warner Brothers to distribute a horror movie. And you don't know it's a horror movie when it starts. It starts, and you have this fantastic song, Cry Little Sister by G. Tom Mack, who was one of the premier sort of goth pop rock artists. And, it starts with this amazing song and then this beautiful shot over the water, which I think is one of the best shots in the whole movie. We
don't talk about that a lot on this show, but we talked about it in The Fog, and we talked about it there, just how cool the shots were.
Yeah, and it seems like there's 3 movies that I think of where they have good water shots and good nature shots. It's The Fog, it's Lost Boys, and then The Shining. Really good outside cinematography, really good shots. So it starts with this water shot, and then it goes to a carnival. Which is all brightly lit, and there are people laughing and joking and having fun. And then you see this merry-go-round with these, what I assume it's a couple. They're kind of, I don't know, weird sort of, I don't know what the hell their deal is. They look like they're on drugs or something. But they're on this merry-go-round, and then you have Kiefer Sutherland and his crew, and then they get to squabbling amongst themselves, and then the security guard, or, you know, whatever you want to call him, rent-a-cop, whatever you decide to call him, he splits them up and sort of separates them and tells them to get the hell on. And then, you know, they kind of, that's sort of all you see of them for, you know, a minute. And then it sort of shows everything shutting down, which is kind of cool, but sort of creepy too, because everything goes instantly from being vibrant and alive and colorful to being just dark and quiet and kind of soulless. Sort of like a vampire, right? But, yeah, so everything gets quiet. And then you see this aerial shot. It's a really weird aerial shot of the security guard walking to the car. And it's sort of like you see this point of view of this aerial shot moving closer and closer to him, and you're not exactly sure what you're seeing. And then he happens to look up, and whatever it is scares the shit out of him, and he starts to run towards his car. But he can't get the door open, and he's trying to fumble with the lock to get it open. And then all of a sudden, he gets jerked up off the ground, and then the damn door goes with him, and then he screams, and that's sort of all you see of that guy.
It reminds me of Batman. I don't know how to explain it, but you know all those scenes from like Batman Begins where Batman's kind of overhead and somebody just flies up above? That's kind of Batman.
Oh, yeah. Do I look like a cop? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, so you sort of get that cool shot, and you don't know what's happened. You don't know what the hell happened, because at that point, if you're seeing the movie for the first time, or even if you're not seeing it for the first time, you have no idea what's going on. You don't know who's a vampire, who's not. You don't know what happened to him. You just know he's gone. And then we get this.
And, you know, this is one of those movies that I wish we could start over again and see for the first time. Just like Halloween, just like Friday the 13th, for the first time not knowing it was vampires, you know?
Yeah, it's sort of like the Jaws shark, not knowing that it's a shark at first.
Right. Just to get that experience of not knowing. I feel like that's invaluable, you know? That's why I try to see whatever movies I can at the theater when I can.
Oh, same here, and it has been a long stretch as far as that. I mean, I think the last one I saw in theaters was It when it came out. You know, back in September, and before that it had been a few years, and then before that it had even been more years. So it's not something I go do because I like to watch the movie in the comfort of my own home. I don't like to listen to people bitching and playing on their fucking cell phones and taking pictures and being just general pains in the asses while I'm trying to enjoy a film. You know.
So what you're saying is you hate people just like I do.
No, I don't hate people. I just hate being around large groups of people who are not willing to give a film the absolute undivided attention that it deserves. So it gets annoying, you know, and that'll bump into what's grinding my gears. I'm sure I've already talked about that at some point. But anyway, so seeing this movie for the first time, I remember seeing it when I saw it for the first time. I didn't know what I was watching, but I fell in love with the music. And it starts off really strong with this really impressive music score and song choice, and that continues throughout the film. But after you have this scene of this security guard being, you know, abducted, for lack of a better term, you get this sudden cut to the water again, and it's daytime. Complete opposite, and I think that's another thing that plays into same sort of boat as American Psycho. You know, you get the two sides of the same coin. You get the bright, and you know, you sort of get, except you get it in the opposite. You get the dark, kind of seedy, frightening thing, you know, atmosphere, and then you get the light side of things. So you get to see exactly what the sort of the theme of the movie is. You know, you have this presentation of an exterior, and then the real interior is markedly different.
How quick do we get People Are Strange? Is that the intro credits?
The intro credits are Cry Little Sister. Then you get People Are Strange. I believe at some point during the opening, once it becomes daylight again, you'll get a bit of that there. But, yeah, and then, of course, you have this old 60s sort of song coming on the radio. So it's like Southern California, sort of 60s Beach Boy-esque vibe, you know, versus what the movie started with, which was this 80s goth rock punk rock